Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, tell us your name and a little bit about why you're here today.
Well, I'm William Jones. I played in the Mom and Pa Ferguson film. I was Dan Moody, and had a good time. So I'm here to talk about that.
I heard some rumors that Dan Moody was actually the main character of this film.
Some think that. There was a guy that was on the set. He was really a snob. I mean, he tried to control everything.
He looked a lot like you, though.
He did, actually. We're actually twins, long lost.
And what's his name?
Is Ramsey Longbottom, yeah. He was adopted by aristocracy and rich people in England. And we never spoke much, but yeah.
So did he do any stunt doubling for you?
He tried to a lot. He tried to jump in there. I know he did a lot for Pa Ferguson, actually, which was interesting to see that transformation just go on his face.
Yeah,
it was amazing. His acting was okay, but most of the good stuff with Dan Moody was me. So he had a lot of nervous breakdowns and stuff, and just couldn't take it. So I don't think the acting life was for him. So
all right. Tell us about kind of how you got ready to play your character and what your favorite part was about being Dan Moody.
Getting ready to play the character, a lot of research was involved. We went on a research trip down to Austin to the Dolph Briscoe Research Center. Did a lot of research on him. It's really interesting to read up on him and his relationship with the Fergusons. He was almost, people thought of him as like the savior, the hero to come and save people from the Fergusons because of the corruptness that they were involved in. So it was interesting to play a character that was technically the good guy, but in a sense was the bad guy. So it was interesting.
That is a very unusual position to have. That sounds like it would have been very interesting. What are some of your favorite moments that happened behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes, well, there were quite a few. There was one instance where I held hands with Nathan, the guy who played Pa Ferguson, throughout an entire scene, and then he let go of my hand to redo the scene, and you could tell a difference. It was like we were soul brothers or something. And
for those of you who are wondering at home, that is a verifiable fact, and you can go and watch that on the other bonus features.
And it was a moment, and it was beautiful.
We ended up using that clip, didn't we?
We did. We ended up using the one where you were holding his hand because it actually was the better take of that scene.
We were like when we grabbed hands, it was like this link was between us, and we were just. It was. I can't even describe it.
Brothers, as one.
Yes, as one. Yeah.
Inseparable.
Yeah, exactly. He couldn't do it without me. So.
What was your favorite scene to shoot that you were in not holding Pa's hand?
Probably the scene where I did the speech. My biggest kind of scene where I get up in front of the crowd and I'm addressing everybody and kind of, trying to turn people away from the Fergusons and like, here I am, here's another option. I know there was one time I tried to bang my fist on the wooden fencing or the railing that was in front of me, and I got a lot of flack because I could not hit it hard enough. It was very dense wood, and it would not make a sound at all. I was expecting like to bang it, and it would be like this hollow knock that would just go everywhere, and people would be able to hear it perfectly. And it was like a little baby was tapping it or something. So that was fun. I almost broke my hand trying to bang it hard enough to get the sound that I wanted out of it. It still did not work.
But all in all, it is a great scene.
It is okay. Yeah.
In spite of the man who was mowing the lawn.
Oh yeah, the guy was mowing the lawn. He was my audience. I kept my eyes on him all the time. He was doing it. He was the guy.
What was something that you maybe didn't expect that was tough about the film?
Probably it was harder to be the boom mic guy. And then at one point, it's the cameraman. At one point, I had to get on a roof that was at a somewhat of an angle, so that was fun. Probably all the background noises, because I was the boom mic guy. Probably hearing all of the booms off in the distance. There were several car horns that were going off while we were trying to film. Kids playing in the background. So that was probably the hardest part.
I remember several times we did a scene and we would look at you and ask, because of course you had the headphones that were connected to the boom mic, we would ask, how was the sound? We thought it was a great scene, and you would just shake your head and say that was terrible.
No,
it was awful.
There were cars going, there were wild dogs in the background attacking each other, kids just running rampant in the streets, just insane from, I don't know, sugar or something. I don't know what those kids are doing these days. So, yeah.
What was your least favorite scene to shoot?
Least favorite scene to shoot?
In front of or behind the camera?
In
or
front
both?
of or behind the camera? Well, let's see. Probably the one where Ma Ferguson was holding the knife and threatening Moody, because I played Moody, and she was kind of shaking it in my direction. It was terrifying. I had to use the restroom afterwards. I feared for my life.
Now, did you talk to the actress who played Ma Ferguson? Did you talk to her about that scene?
Yes, I did. I was a little hesitant to, because, she, just a few moments ago, she was holding a knife and threatening to kill me, or worse, but I did. And we made up. We got over it, so no hard feelings.
I heard a rumor from a little birdie that told me that there was one scene in particular with Dan Moody and William Hobby and William Hogg in which you had a hard time getting your line out correctly.
Yeah, I had a bit of a problem with my wife's name, Dan Moody's wife's name. I kept saying Miriam, and I had no idea that I was saying it.
Which is Ma's name.
Which is Ma Ferguson's name, Miriam Ferguson. I had no idea what I was doing, and when the scene was done, we had done like a run-through of it. They were like, you're not using the right name. You're saying Miriam.
And what was Dan Moody's wife's name?
Mildred. Her name was Mildred. And I got back into character, and I did it again, and I got very upset with myself. And at that point, I started just repeating it over and over again. And the other guys were trying to mess with me and tell me that my wife was Miriam. I'm like, no, my wife is Mildred. And they're like, no, it's Miriam. It's Mildred. I love Mildred!
So tell us, what was that line so that audiences can go look for it?
I believe it was the scene with, I can't remember the character's name. It's been a while, but I believe I was talking about how my wife, I'd have to ask permission for my wife to, so I could do, I can't remember exactly what, but smoke. Yeah, that was it, smoking. Smoking, I had to get permission from her. And the other guys were giving me a hard time about it within the scene. And so, yeah.
I believe the line was, I'm going to be the master of my own house.
That was it, yes.
And I already have
Mildred's permission to do so, yeah. Kept saying Miriam's. So that was a bit awkward for Dan Moody and for me.
It's essentially Donald Trump having an affair with Hillary Clinton.
Right.
Exactly.
It's the political equivalent of what would happen if Donald Trump had an affair with Hillary Clinton. That's accurate, yes.
It's horrifying. Let's move on.
Okay, so moving on from that awful idea, what are some other things, some other stories, some other things you might want the audience to know?
I guess we had there was a lot of fun scenes, especially when Nathan, Paul Ferguson, had to be an old man. That was priceless.
Tell us about that.
It was amazing. He came out of the bathroom after being turned into like an old man after looking at himself, and he decided, all right, well, I'm just going to go for it right now. I'm going to get into character right now, and I'm going to be an old man. And
With no warning.
With no warning. No warning at all. He just came out of there and started being like, hey, sonny boy, how's it going? What's been shaking and baking and everything? What are you kids up to these days? And it went on for, I don't even know, because it was just a blur after that.
And what part did you play in this spontaneous melodrama?
I was the grandson that was trying to control him because he was out of control. He was trying to do all kinds of stuff.
Do you remember any of the things that he was doing or saying?
Yeah, he was definitely trying to awkwardly flirt as like this old guy trying to flirt with all these young girls. He like saw them, and being totally in character, did exactly what like an old man would do, like try to flirt with them and stuff, and making moves on them. And I just had to try and stop him. I know Isaac walked into a room at one point, and he got very disturbed by that. I had to control him. I had to put him back in bed, and put him out. I had to put him out. I had to give him the pills, the sleeping pills.
So that was fun. Was there anything else?
That was very fun. I think that was about it. I mean, there was a lot of, most of it was a blur. I can't remember most of it. Long nights, a lot of holding up this boom mic that was not very heavy, but you know, you're sitting there holding it for probably an hour, and it gets a little tiring, just a little bit. So.
My co-interviewer here is asking if we had pancakes and ice cream on this trip. Was that a thing that we did?
I believe that was the research trip that we discovered.
That's
We
right.
discovered the incredible joy that can be found in pancakes and ice cream.
Do you remember how that happened?
Well, our hotel was right next to a Denny's, and we were just like, oh, well, okay, it's like 11 o'clock at night. We're hungry. Let's go eat our two favorite things, ice cream and pancakes. And we combined it, and it's incredible.
It's magical.
It was magical. I mean,
Pulled us through in the end.
I know. I mean, that research trip, it was so grueling, but after that point, it was just like, I can't even describe the feeling. It was just so incredible, so amazing.
Is there anything else you want to tell the audience?
I guess tune in next year for our next honors film about Sam Houston, played by me.
Is it really?
That is.
You're
it
playing
is
Sam
I am playing
Houston?
Sam Houston.
Yeah.
I am playing Sam Houston. I'm very nervous. So
You'll be amazing.
I think last time I had about 3 scenes, and this time I have 50
I will.
All the scenes.
out of 60.
No, I will actually watch this now.
I'm terrified. We'll see. So
We-
tune in next year for that.
We have complete confidence in you. So,
I hope I can get that. I hope I can get some complete confidence in myself because I need it to do this.
all right.
It's gonna be fun.
Thank you so much for your time and for the insight that you've given us into what went on behind the scenes of 2 for 1, the story of Ma and Pa Ferguson.
Thank you.